at one point along the way. I said, well, so where'd Ruby come from? Isn't that easily
Yeah.
Rebecca?
Yeah.
She said, well, when I landed, my aunt, who,
Oh, it's
picked
one
us
of
up,
those stories,
said,
yeah.
it's gonna be Ruby. So what did I know? I didn't even speak English.
A lot of the Sarahs became Sadie
Uh-huh.
and Sally.
Everything but,
So
these take a long.
somebody, let's see.
So I
kinda
didn't
like
get
this.
to that. And
Somebody in our congregation, I won't say who just because now we're online and like, who knows if they don't want the story told, had a grandmother or great grandmother who was a Sarah, but
In fact,
she thought she was like a flapper. She was like sort of like in the 20s, and Sarah just seemed to her to be like a really square, old-fashioned kind of name. So she decided she was going to be Sally.
so I have.
And she had, I guess her father, whoever it was, couldn't really say Sally with his back. He used to call her Sally. So Sally, right? So the story went on that at this father's or grandfather's, Sally's, funeral, right? She was really distraught, and she cried out at the funeral, and she said, now that he's gone, who will call me Sally? And another relative literally volunteered and said, I will call you Sally. And apparently this happened like several times. Like, who will call me Sally? And it was like, it was really great. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey, hello. Are you ready to indulge in some Hebrew? Shabbat Shalom, Chaverim, CBI Austin from Maria. Hi, Maria.
Bon dia.
Hello, everybody says hi. Hi. So we are on chapter 14. Is that right? Yeah. Yes, we are.
Yep.
Yeah, we are. Intrepid Hebrew scholars.
This was a lot.
Oh,
It was.
It's getting tough.
I was overwhelmed with a lot of work.
Yeah. No, there was a lot here.
I missed a lot in here, a lot of questions.
So, all right. So, shall we dive into the exercises and get our questions? Okay. So we can dive into the exercises, the homework, and get our questions answered that way. But if there are any kind of overarching things out of the gate that you want to ask about, we could start that way.
Just the word order is, when they get really complex.
Yeah, that's
The
exactly
word
it.
order
Trying to
is
figure out,
very
okay, now
confusing,
what is this trying to say? I want to.
Yeah.
I brought this to Torah study.
Uh-huh.
Just,
Yeah.
just in case I had time. Sat next to Alec.
Uh-huh.
Hanov.
Yeah.
He said, "Is this the advanced Hebrew thing?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." He picked it up, looked at it. He said, "Yeah, it's the real deal."
Yeah. No. It's real Hebrew. There's nothing babyish or kindergarten or whatever with this. All right. So let's go through let's dive into the exercises here.
Are we going to
Okay.
blessing?
Oh, we shouldn't
Okay.
we? Says the rabbi. God, this is
That's
and this
okay.
is
We
all
got
over the internet
We
now.
got your back.
And
Okay.
I'm-
Oh yeah, internet.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Beautiful. All right. So shall we take a look at page 132? Yeah. Let's look at 132 and let's go to these. And I think we should just read and translate. And since I always seem to be going the other direction, Phil, today I'm going to start with you.
Alrighty then.
So just read each one and tell us what it means.
1-1. Is that
Mhm.
what we're doing?
So
okay.
actually-
Av Tov, a good father.
A good father is correct.
Aim Tova, a good mother.
Uh-huh.
Banim Tovim, good brothers. Banot,
Not brothers.
sons.
Sons or children. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Banot,
And
Tovot, good daughters.
very nice. All right. Faith, number 2. Read and translate.
Okay, Yom Gadol, a big day,
Or a great day.
a
Yeah.
great day.
Uh-huh.
Hayad Hagdola, the big hand or the great hand.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Ha'ola, ha'ola, ohalim,
Ha'ohalim.
ha'ohalim, hagdolim, the big tents.
Mm-hmm.
Enayim Gadolot, big eyes.
Right. And there's the Einayim Gedolot, right? There's an example of one of these body part words or these ayim words, usually words that end in ayim, things that are pairs are usually feminine, okay, even though they look masculine, so it's Einayim Gedolot, okay, and not Einayim Gedolim, which is what you would guess, but yeah, Gedolot is right. All right.
Peter wants to know if you can see that he's logged in.
I can see, here's what I can see. I can see that there are 4 people logged in.
Okay,
I can't see who they are. There are 4 people.
he just wanted to.
Yeah. I can.
If you could see.
Yeah, it would be cool if people's names popped up, and maybe there's a way to do that, but it doesn't show it here.
Okay.
Okay. But if Peter types a message, it'll pop up on my screen here. Okay, so 3, Sarah. We start with Ha'adam Hechacham.
Okay. Ha'adam.
He Hechacham. It's really hard, to say.
The wise man.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Na'ara. Chakama.
Chachama, uh-huh.
A young woman.
Uh-huh.
I mean a wise woman.
A wise woman.
Young
Yeah,
woman.
a wise young woman.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Hanim.
Okay, so you
Ha-
Kohanim.
Kohanim.
Uh-huh.
Hachachamim.
Hachachamim.
Okay. The wise priest.
It's like guttural boot camp, you
Yeah.
know. Hakohanim, hachachamim, right?
Right.
Yeah, so the wise priests, all right, and then last one?
Panim chakamot. Wise faces.
Right. And there's another example, right? So panim looks like a masculine plural form with the im ending, right? But it's actually feminine, right? Body parts are feminine, so panim chachamot. All right. Allison, we get to you. We're on in group 4 there on the bottom of 132.
Aim ha'adon ha'zikain.
Right, now they're messing with our heads with all
That's
these
right.
word
Yeah, it
pairs.
starts to get difficult here. So,
This I couldn't.
the mother of the old master.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. And how do we know that it's master that's being modified
Um,
and not
it's
mother?
masculine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Okay, I got this question from Mari, but again, it's like partly in Portuguese, so I don't. The thing is that it disappears too quickly. Yeah, I wish it stayed on the screen. Anyway, yeah. So next time, bring your laptop. You can follow on
Yeah,
there. And
yeah.
okay, all right. So right. So try the second one, Allison.
Beit Naomi Hazekina, the house of old Naomi. Old Naomi's house.
Right. Old Naomi's house.
My mother-
Well, wait a minute.
Or
Yeah, no, right, because Bayit is see, now I'm doubting myself. Right, Bayit is masculine.
yeah.
So Naomi Hazekena, Old Naomi's house. Sounds like a children's TV show, doesn't it?
My mother was
Welcome on it. Was your mother Naomi?
Yeah, I used to go to old Naomi's house.
Nice. All right, next one.
Ha'avadim Hazekinim,
Mm-hmm.
the old servants.
Yeah, correct. All right, last one.
Ene Yosef Hazekinot,
All right.
the old eyes of Joseph.
Joseph's old eyes.
Joseph's old eyes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's. I'm trying to think of like if Ellen were here, she could just pull this out of the air. I'm trying to think of the passage where how the Hebrew goes to the passage where it says, "Now Isaac was old and his eyes were right," or when we read it on Simchat Torah at the very very end of Devarim of Deuteronomy, when it talks about the death of Moses. It says Lo chahata eno, so it's a feminine form, which means his eyes were undimmed, or his eye was undimmed. Velo naslecho, and literally, and his moisture had not fled him, which may say something about sexual prowess. We're not exactly sure. It might be. All right, isn't that disturbing? Okay.
Well,
All right.
It happens.
Or it does, yeah. You guys are too funny. All right. I think we are up to you, Phil, number 5.
Number 5.
Before we get in further trouble. Yes.
Shalom Rav. Lots of peace.
Yeah, great peace. Or you could be saying hi to your rabbi. Shalom, Rav. What?
Abundant peace.
Yeah, okay.
They make these gag coffee mugs that say Shalom Rav on them, and on the other side it says Hi Rabbi, and people are like, "Bet you never saw that before." Like you get, no, I haven't. All right, Shalom Rav. Okay, Phil, what's the second one?
Adama Rabbah. Plentiful, abundant land.
Abundant land is a nice translation. Yeah.
Okay. Ha'amim Harabim. Plentiful peoples. The plentiful peoples.
Yeah, or the many
abundant,
the many
the many.
peoples. Yeah,
Okay.
the many peoples. Right.
Mishpachot Rabot. A great family. A plentiful, many families.
That you hit third time was the charm.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And thanks for not, jumping in there.
No,
I'll
no,
get
no.
there eventually.
Yeah, I know. No. I want to give you time. All right, 6, Faith.
B'cherev ha'ra, by the bad sword,
Yeah, by the evil
by
sword.
the evil sword.
Not, okay.
Yeah, because that confused
I
me.
thought
In, so yeah, but that
Well,
doesn't make
That
sense.
really makes
Yeah.
All of these
It's a little
little,
loose.
Yeah, so ba, well,
because ba is normally in the.
Yeah.
we think of it as in the. Okay, so here's what we have, right? So it's in the, and because it's in the, that's why the has because it's ba and not bi, right? That's why the ha also has to attach to the ra'ah, right? So this we know that this you know that it that. Well, wait a minute. Wait, isn't cherev?
Oh, maybe I'm.
Wait, is cherev masculine? No, but I want to know if it's masculine or feminine. Look,
It is feminine, actually.
really,
Yeah.
cherev is feminine. Whoa, mind blown. Okay, so cherev is feminine, right? So we know that the sword is evil, right? In that doesn't really make sense because it's not a container for something, right? So bi or ba, that prefix, if you had to guess, you guess it means in, bi in, ba in the, but it can also mean through or by means of. So here, I think the best translation is with the wicked sword,
Oh, okay.
right?
You didn't like by the evil sword?
It could be.
Like he was.
Well, he was cut down by the wicked sword. Yeah, by right in the sense of by means of. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a. I'm not even going to get up and bother writing this on the board. The Hebrew verb for like the modern Hebrew verb for to use is lehishtamesh. It comes from the same root as shamash, like the servant candle that serves, right? So it's what's used. So lehishtamesh it's a reflexive verb. It means to use, and the you might think that if I want to say I use the cup, right, the kos, right, I would say lehishtamesh et ha-kos, right? But the preposition, some verbs have prepositions that just go with them, like it's the right preposition for the verb, right? So you want to say use something, it's lehishtamesh bi, right? Or I gave you this example before, right? Like im we learned means with, and that's like I am sitting with im hatalmidim, like with the students. But if I want to say I'm writing with a pencil, right, iparon, I say katavti bi iparon.
Yeah.
I wrote with, right? Because otherwise, if I say im, it means I was writing, and little Mr. Pencil was also writing, right? Which is like it's like Mr. Paperclip on the old Microsoft
You know,
programs.
these preposition, especially prepositional verbs, are always the hardest thing.
Yeah, yeah. You mean in languages in general,
In
or
languages in general, it's just
right.
really hard.
Okay, so we were
Nefesh hara'ah,
right. Banefesh hara'ah.
in an evil soul.
Right, in the evil soul. Yeah, it's a weird phrase. Okay.
Midamim ra'im,
Uh-huh.
from bad blood.
Yeah, from bad blood.
They're like
Yeah.
bad heritage or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Did I
and bad.
did I give you the Cain and Abel midrash on Dam and Damim? No? Ooh, this was probably one of those, like I hadn't had lunch yet and my blood sugar was low and I couldn't remember and I went off on a tangent and then just kind of went like, I don't know. So can we do something on this?
Yeah.
So we learned,
This is why we're here.
this is why we're hitting the tangents?
Yep.
We're here for the tangents.
Yeah, we can read the book by ourselves.
Do we care what the people who are logging in think? Yeah, we do.
I think they.
Especially Maria and Peter, we care about them. Right. So, they'll probably, let's get something that maybe will show it. This is the one that's dead. Yep, that's the one that's dead because it's black. Okay, let's put this over here. Let's try. And that's also really bad. This is really embarrassing. Let's try. Okay. So, when God confronts Cain about having killed Abel, right? And he says, Aye Hevel Achicha, where is Abel, your brother, right? And, Cain responds and says, I don't know, Hashomer Achi Anochi, am I my brother's keeper, right? Then God says, listen, Kol Demei, I think I'm getting these vowels more or less right. Kol Demei Achicha. So here is a lovely, noun pair sort of phrase, right? So first of all, we learned that dam is either dam or damim. It can have a singular or plural form. It still means blood, right? You remember that words that end in im, when you make them in a word pair, they become a, right? So demei achicha means what? Ach is brother.
Blood of your brother.
Right. Now it's called demei achicha. So demei achicha is sort of one unit. I'm treating it like it's like a formula, right?
Yeah.
So it's this of that. So what's the whole phrase mean? Called demei achicha.
The voice of of the blood of your brother.
Right. Or the sound of your brother's blood. And then it actually says tzoakim, right? This is kind of fun. So did I tell you this? Did I?
I don't recall.
Man, I feel like I did.
I don't recall.
Deja vu all over again.
All right, deja all over again? Okay. Right.
Voice of your blood.
Right, the voice, right. Kol demei achicha, right? Tzoakim. So why is it this plural form tzoakim? Because demei is a plural form, right? So the voice of your brother's blood calls out to me from the ground, right? Because Cain killed Abel and his blood spilled on the ground. It's also a great thing because Cain has no dialogue in the whole story. The only time you hear from him, so to speak, is when his blood cries out. All right. So
Abel.
from
Abel.
Abel, rather, right? Thank you. Abel has a dialogue, right? So and I told you Abel means like vapor or breath, right? So it's like if you name somebody vapor or breath, they're not going to be around too long, right? So, so the fact that this is a plural form, right, and leads the rabbis of the Mishnah in the tractate called Sanhedrin to say, why does it say demei achicha and not just dam achicha, sort of playing on the fact that it looks like a plural form? They're saying to teach you that if you wrongfully cause a person's death, you don't just kill them, you kill the bloods of all the children they would have had, all their descendants. Remember?
Oh,
Yes,
you
yes.
did mention
Yeah.
something about that.
Then there's another sort of variant reading that says, well, it says blood because his blood was spattered on trees and stones and so forth, right? Ew, right? The larger, it's pretty grody, right? The larger kind of, context of all of this is that famous text where they're trying to tell you how you intimidate a witness in a capital murder case, and one of the things you say to them is, if you take a single life, it's like you've destroyed the life of the whole world. If you save a single life, it's like you saved the life of the whole world, right? So you're going to be responsible for the non-existence or death of all these countless people if you lie, and it's based on a number of things, but the single life or right, it's like taking the life of the whole world, is based on this whole idea of demei looking plural, right? The bloods of, or that's where they hang it. They hang it on that verse. Yeah? Yeah, okay. You looked a little skeptical or suspicious.
No,
I couldn't
no,
tell.
no, I was involved in a big lawsuit, so that I was just thinking of that, so.
Nice.
Well, it has legal implications, it's basis
Oh.
of so much, law, I mean, that we
Yeah.
have today,
Right,
you take away someone from a family and then their descendants, et cetera, still deserve.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then also, like, how many Jews would there be in the world today without a quarter of the Shoah, right? I mean, look at all the how much bigger would the Jewish population be? Okay, I am off kilter as to who were we with and where we were. Number 6, okay. Yeah, Midamim Ra'im is where I got all off track. Okay, sorry about that. And then, last one.
Le'arim haraot.
Uh-huh.
The bad cities.
So what's the le add to it?
To the bad cities.
To the bad cities. So this could be like, part of like the Sodom and Gomorrah story, right?
Let's go to the bad cities.
Let's go to the bad cities. That would be Vegas and, I don't know, maybe. Haven't spent a lot of time in Vegas. Sin City, right. Sarah, number 7.
Midbar echad,
Mm-hmm.
one wilderness,
Nice.
ir echad,
Achat.
achat,
Mm-hmm.
achat.
Mm-hmm.
It's feminine.
Feminine of echad. So echad is masculine.
Okay, that's what I had, it just looks so different.
Yeah. So what would that be? Ir
It's
achat.
one city.
One city. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, tachat ha'etz ha'echad,
Uh-huh.
under the one tree.
Uh-huh. Under that one tree, under the one tree. So let me just give you a little pronunciation nudge there. It's a teeny one, which is, so when you have the double patach twice, like under that first word, the first one gets accented, so it's tachat.
Tachat.
If you remember that's where tuchas comes from, tachat, right?
So is that a rule, two double,
Two
patachs
patachs,
in a row
yeah,
get
two
the-
patachs in a row, the first one's accented.
Okay.
Just like the segolet, like a little further
Yeah.
down in number 8, we're going to have derech,
Okay.
right? Patach, segol is the first one is accented, and patach also the first one gets accented, generally speaking. Okay, so what's the last one?
Hamilchama
Mm-hmm.
hagdolah,
Hamilchama hagdolah. What would that be?
big battle.
Yeah, or the great war, right? The big battle. Good. Okay, Allison, number 8.
Hakol hazeh,
Mm-hmm.
this voice.
Mm-hmm.
Hadera
Uh-huh.
hazot,
Hadera chazot. Yeah, what's that?
this road,
This road or this way? Uh-huh.
or this way. Hamayim ha'ele, these waters,
Or this water.
yeah. So I get confused with those collective ones.
Yeah, it is confusing, but yeah.
Because it is these.
Yeah.
Ha'ele.
I mean, if somebody was like on a ship and pointing to the ocean and saying, Hamayim ha'ela, they might mean these waters, right?
Mhm.
But if it's like what's in this glass, probably it's this water, right? Okay.
Habehemot ha'ele,
Mm-hmm.
these animals.
These animals. I'll tell you a mom joke. A mom, may she rest in peace joke. So, growing up with somebody who spoke Yiddish, right? You didn't say behema, you said behema, and behema meant like cattle, right? So they used to run these commercials growing up in Philadelphia, especially when the snow was on the ground and everybody was like shoveling snow for like vacations in the Bahamas, and where you get it already, right? And the slogan was "It's better in the Bahamas." So my mother used to say, "Why would it be better with the Bahamas?" That was always her. Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah, thank you for that. Because to people who weren't clued into that, by the time you were finished, it wouldn't be funny anymore. But the fact that you laughed. Plus, Maria said she likes it when we're laughing, so that's good. All right, so now we are at number 9. Phil,
Back to me?
Back to you.
Harosh hahu,
Mhm.
that head.
Mm-hmm.
Ha'aim hahim, that mother.
Mm-hmm.
Halelot hahaim,
Uh-huh.
those nights.
Right, and this night, of course, is Halayla Hazeh, like in the 4 questions, right? And then what's the last one?
Hamish patim
Mm-hmm.
hahaim, those families.
Very nice. All right. Which other? Huh?
Mishpatim?
Oh, no, you're thinking of mishpachot, right?
Yes, I
No,
am. Those rules.
those rules. Yeah.
Or judgments.
Yeah, rules of judgments. We have a Torah portion called Mishpatim, and it's the one. Actually, it's this week's portion. Ta-da! It's this week's portion, right? It's the portion it's the portion after Yitro, which has the Ten Commandments in it. Now you get a bunch of other sort of legislation, and it begins Elah HaMishpatim. These are the rules that Moses laid down. Okay. What other exercises here? We're fine on time. Like, okay, you know what? Let's do. To save some time. Let's talk our way through. Or in fact, I'll give you the answers to number 2 and tell me if you have any questions. Let's do that. Not because I don't trust you.
I'd like to check those to see if I
Yeah,
can
let's check 'em.
if I looked it up.
Okay, and I am more than capable of making a mistake. So if you think I'm making a mistake, please say something. If you see something, say something. All right, so 1 tent, right, would be ohel echad. Ohel echad. 1 mother would be aim achat. Yeah?
I'm 100 so far.
You're 100 so far? Excellent. All right. Number achat. Achat is the feminine form for 1. Yeah. All right. A big land, I guess, would be Eretz Gedolah. Yeah? The great woman, think of like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? The great woman could be Ha'isha HaGedolah. Yeah. Large animals, Behemot Gedolot. Or cattle, right? Under the big gate. Whoa. Tachat Hasha'ar Hagadol. Yeah? This is a good brain exercise for me.
For some reason, I put a me in front of the tachat. I don't know why.
You're thinking of bigger than the gate.
Yeah.
Like Gadol Me, right? That one. Okay. Line 2 at the top of page 133. A big land, Eretz Gedolah.
We just did that.
Oh, duh. Okay. No wonder it looked so familiar. Line 3. A wise spirit, nefesh chacham. It's masculine nefesh, or can it be feminine also? I don't know. I think it's
How
masculine.
about ruach?
Oh, duh. Right. I'm thinking of soul or spirit. Right. Thank you. Right. Ruach chacham. Right. A wise daughter.
But it could also be feminine, right? Because it's.
Oh, can it be either? Is a It's yeah. Okay.
So if it's feminine, ruach, hakama.
Yeah, chachama. Right. A wise daughter, bat chachama. The wise children. Oh, Maria says, I asked for tefillot. I'm sick. Tomorrow I will be in a clinic. I need help from the Eternal. If you can and want to, please remember Maria. Okay, Maria. We will say a Misha Berach for you. Misha Berach for you. Yeah, that you should feel better and get better. Good luck. Let us know. All right. Indeed. The wise children. It could be habanim hechachamim, probably. Yeah. Habanim hechachamim.
About hayeladim.
Or hayiladim hechachamim. Have you learned yiladim?
No.
No, but it's the one you're used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Hecha.
it has to have the ha.
Yeah.
Okay. Habanim.
Hachachamim. And it's probably hechachamim.
Oh,
Hechachamim because
Okay.
Before that.
because it can't take the dot after ha, so it makes it from an a to an e. Hechachamim. Okay.
That is the hard part, is guessing the vowels on these
Yeah,
things.
and
Yeah.
it's
Or remembering
as I
them.
said to you, most of what we're working on here is not producing Hebrew. It's reading and translating Hebrew that's already there. She
No,
says
but-
Toda Rabbah.
But it makes you smarter if you can produce it. So I'm
Yeah,
going to do it.
no,
I'm
it's
just trying
nice work to do,
remember.
yeah. Wise souls, nefashot, chachamot, I guess. Yeah. Line 4. This bread, halechem hazeh. That night, halayla hahu. Yes,
Forgot the ha.
halayla hahu. This night, halayla hazeh, right? But that night, halayla hahu. These dishes, of course, the phrase that immediately comes to mind is "are dirty," right? who left them in the sink without cleaning them up. Okay, so these dishes, hakelim ha'ela? Yeah, I'm doing these off the top of my head, so it's like, okay, this is good for me. I'm getting a real workout here. These mountains,
Those mountains.
Wait, can we go back? How
yeah.
about kalei ochal?
Calais?
Implements of eating.
Clay ochel? Maybe, it's probably a thing, but
Is that dishes? I mean, can that be dishes?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, but kalim, in a context which people already understood you were talking about, like pots and pans and stuff, it's kalim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we been
I mean,
given
clay ochel would mean like vessels for food, but I just don't know if that's like a thing that people actually say.
that? Okay.
Okay. Nevertheless, it is clever, Phil. So you get credit for that for sure. Okay, those mountains would be Heharim Hahem. Heharim Hahem. Yeah. 5. Old Joseph. So Yosef Hazaken. You need the ha because Joseph is definite, right? Evil Leah. That seems
Leah
misogynist to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Leah.
Leah Hara'ah. Why isn't Joseph evil? All right.
I was looking for that through this text, and almost every time the ra or anything.
It's always feminine?
It's almost always, I mean,
We are going to complain to the publisher for sure. Okay, many trees. Eitzim Rabim? Yeah, because I'm thinking it's tree masculine or feminine. It's masculine, right? It's masculine, right? Eitzim Rabim. Instead of the old brothers, whoa.
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't remember instead of.
Mean.
well, they put that for the thing is under, for tacha.
What are they? Well, tachat, yeah, but tachat in biblical Hebrew means like in place of.
Well, it says here in the vocab, under or instead of.
Instead of, yeah. So here's the famous instead of. Here's the famous instead of or in place of. Ayin tachat ayin. Shein ayin tachat ayin. Shein tachat sheen is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and they use tachat there. I guess it would be tachat 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 if it was a tuchus for a tuchus. Shabbat shalom.
Well done. Well
Yeah,
done.
thank you. Tachat tachat tachat.
Be here all week.
But right. Maria's like, what's wrong with these people? All right. Yeah. What the heck? What line were we on?
Tachat,
Instead of the old brother.
Oh yeah. Tachat habanim hazikenim. Tachat habanim
No.
hazikenim.
No.
Tachat
Achim.
achim. Right. Tachat he'achim.
Achim.
I'm
okay.
guessing tachat he'achim hazikenim. Yeah, I think that when in Vayigash, I think that when Judah steps forward to Joseph and says, "I will stay here as your slave in place of the boy," I think he probably says tachat. I have to look it up. I need to bring a Tanakh with me in future weeks. Okay, Oh, there you go. Very nice. Okay, line 6, the bad seed. It's a horror movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Hazera hara. Yeah. A good heart. Lev tov. I'm thinking, is it masculine or feminine? But it's masculine. Lev tov. Okay. Many slaves. Avadim rabim. Good heavens. Good heavens. Shamayim tov.
Tovim. Wait a minute.
Shamayim, is it masculine or feminine? Shamayim. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Shamayim tovim? Okay.
Did you get those from Safaria? Because I'm sitting there doing this homework and trying to figure out where can I see.
No, I just look them up, you know.
In the
You
vocabulary.
just think that you got to go going back through and trying to find.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, all right.
It takes a long time.
Yes, it does. I kind of gave up. I'm just guessing on the masculines and the
The
feminines.
Hebrew to English has the masculine or feminine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But the next in the gloss, but the English to Hebrew gloss does not.
Okay.
So I
Oh, there you
started
go.
marking them in the English. to
Yeah,
Hebrew,
Look
or
at
started
just
doing that.
rely
All
on
right.
the Hebrew to English.
Thank you.
Let's do line 7 here. A lot of silver. Kesef Rav. Yeah, Kesef Rav. Good judgment. Mishpat Tov. Evil eyes. Einaim Ra'ot. Right? Or in singular, Ayin Hara, which is where you get Kinahara from. I think we probably talked about that already. Yiddish, German, Kain,
Kind.
Ayin Hara. no evil eye, which becomes kinahara when you say it fast enough. Kain ein hara, kinahara. These good places, hamikomot hatovim. Is it masculine?
Yes.
Hamikomot hatovim ha'ela.
Okay, so I starred that one because I wasn't sure where.
Makom is masculine, yeah?
Ha'ela would go, the word order.
Yeah,
Wasn't sure
yeah,
what
at the
word
end,
order.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it goes at the end, okay.
Yeah. Mikomot is makom. Yeah, it is, because the Torah talks about taking the remains of the sacrifices to here's an obscure one. Take the remains of the sacrifices out to makom tahor, a pure place. So again, the adjectives don't lie, so it would be tahora. Right.
But we need haze on ha tovim and ha.
If it is the something,
They're
well, these already, yeah, is gonna,
Means it's-
you've made it specific. Yeah. Yeah. Look. V'hayu hadivarim ha'ela. There you go, right?
These words.
Hadivarim ha'ela, right? So the plural of like hablank hazeh or hablank hazot, right, is hablank ha'ela, right?
Demonstrative.
Yeah. Right. Now also sometimes you get the form elu, these, like elu devarim she'ein lahem shiur, here are the things that are limitless, do them as much as you can, says that Mishnah. Okay, what else do you want to go over?
The
Number 5, the exercise.
You said 5, Phil, you got,
Three.
okay, so who, do you
Just-
want to do,
just a quickie on 3.
yeah, quickie we're on page 133 still.
The first one. Is
Yeah.
that this place is greater than that place?
Which one now?
3:1.
3:1. Hamakom hazeh gadol me hamakom. That's a typo. There's no mikomom. It should be
Yeah.
no hamakom. I'm sorry. Hamakom hazeh gadol me hamakom hahu. Right. This place is bigger than that place. That's exactly
Or is it
what
bigger than
That.
Hamak? Yeah, right. This place is bigger than that place. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Or greater?
greater or bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this, 3 was about using the comparatives. So
Yes.
Number
Yeah.
2, Leah is older than David and also better than? Or is she also
Let's
good?
see.
She's good.
Yeah.
She's also good.
Leah zekena min David v'gam. No, they haven't taught you this.
No, so she's the good one?
No,
I wasn't sure what they were trying to say.
no, they haven't taught you this yet. So, okay, so hatovah here means the best.
Oh.
She is older than David, and also she's the best.
That's like a superlative.
Yeah, hatovah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't bet the farm on much, but I would bet the farm. I think I got that one right. You want to just, as long as we're doing it, you want to blitz through those? Okay, so 3. Kohanei Mitzrayim, the priests of Egypt, Hayu, were Chachamim, wiser than Mi Malchei Moab, wiser than the kings of Moab. You know, limited vocabulary, these are the sentences you come up with. All right. Yosef Tov min kol hane'arim b'mishpacha. Joseph is better than all the young guys in the family. Yadati ki Sarah ra'a me'od. I knew, see again, right, you're right. It's really misogynist, right? I knew that Sarah was really evil. Plus, what chutzpah, Sarah?
I know.
Oh, God. I'm so offended.
Was even
Ruth is worse.
Right, right. I knew that Sarah was really bad, but Ruth was worse than Sarah. This is the punchline of the famous joke. You know that one? Rabbi gets called in at the last minute to do a funeral, and really like an hour before he gets called in, and he does a funeral, but comes time for a eulogy, and he says, listen, I didn't know Mr. Goldstein. I don't want to pretend that I knew Mr. Goldstein, but here you have all these people. Would somebody care to come up and say a few good words about him? Everybody sits quietly, right? He asks again, people like sitting there glaring with their arms folded. Now the rabbi gets angry and he says, listen, this is a shanda, this is a disgrace, right? Kavod Hamet, we're supposed to show respect to the dead, right? And some guy in the back stands up and says, fine, his brother was worse, right? Like that. All right. I told that joke to the Chabad rabbi who thought it was really funny. I felt like I had achieved something because I made him laugh. But yes, so Ruth Ra'ami Sarah, right? Like I knew Sarah was really evil, but Ruth is even worse than Sarah. It's like his brother was worse. Shalom Rav Ba'aretz. I think you have to add there is here. There is great peace in the land. Kisarei Ha'ir. Oh, this doesn't have the comparison at all. I was waiting for May in there, right? So Shalom Rav Ba'aretz. There's great peace in the land. Kisarei Ha'ir, because the princes of the city. Oh, wait a minute.
The many.
Because
Because there were many princes of the city around.
Because there were many princes of the city around. Yeah, right. Because it can't. It's not. It's right. It's Sareh because of Rabim, and Sareh, is plural, right? So because there were many princes of the city were around. All right. Anybody else have one? You want to do? You said you wanted to look at 5.
Yes.
So Saviv is just like what, it's an adverb, so it's like, I was just trying to figure
I don't know what kind of word it is around.
It's an adverb.
You're saying it's an adverb.
It's an adverb.
Saviv. Ooh, is it related to Sevivon?
It is exactly related to Sivivon. It spins around.
Okay.
Lesovev means like to spin around. Lehistovev, which is Lehistovev is the what's called the Hitpael form. Lehistovev means to just kind of like tootle around and wander around.
Mm-hmm.
Histovavnu, we were in Tel Aviv. Histovavnu, the new suffix, right? We wandered around Tel Aviv. Yeah. All right, beautiful. So, are there any other exercises that we want to?
I would like to do number 5.
Let's do it. All right. So, Ha'am Hara, right? The bad nation or people, Yikach et kol hazahav. They will take all the gold, midei hakohen, from the hands of the priest. Okay. Rav, at least it's not some woman being evil. What's wrong with them? All right. It's the hidden agenda of this book. Divrei b'nei Yaakov, the words of Jacob's sons, Rav, Rabim, because Devarim is plural, Divrei is plural, right? So Divrei b'nei Yaakov, Rabim, Jacob's sons' words are greater than Mikol Divrei Anshe Moab, are greater than all the words of the people of Moab, or the men of Moab. Doesn't make much sense, but that seems to be what it means. Okay. Avadim Chachamim, wise workers or wise servants or slaves, right? Asu Klei Kesef, they made implements or vessels of silver, Lazikenim Ba'aretz, for the elders of the land, or the elders in the land. Yeah? How are we doing, Allison?
Good.
Yeah? Okay. Isha achat b'shem Sarah. Okay, so b'shem means by the name of. Okay? Or named, right? So a certain woman, instead of saying one woman, I would probably translate it a certain woman by the name of Sarah, Yashva b'veit lechem, sat or dwelled in Bethlehem by Yamim Hahem, back then, in those days, right? A certain woman named Sarah lived in Bethlehem at that time, or in those days. It's nice. It's nice Hebrew. Avarnu Yerushalama. That's how they do it? Okay. So we passed over to Jerusalem. Va'anachnu ra'inu, and we saw she'arim gedolim me'od saviv. We saw huge gates, very, very big gates all around. Yeah?
Yep.
Last one. Anochi zaken ma'od. I am very old, Amra Naomi. Naomi said. At least she's not evil, right? I am old and evil. I am very old, said Naomi. V'gam kol neshei habayit zikenot. Zikenot, right? And also all the women of the house are elderly.
Would not the first one be Zakena?
Yeah.
Did I mess up?
I thought you
Anochi
said
ze-
zakein.
Okay, then I messed up. As I told you to call me out if I was wrong. Right. Anochi zekena ma'od amra Naomi. You would have to actually, right, because there's no clue with Anochi. It could be I, masculine or feminine, so you have to see that Naomi's talking. Good. Well, as the Brits say, well spotted. I think that's what the Brits say.
Maybe.
Do they?
One more. 6-1.
Okay.
Just that one.
Just that one?
Yep, just that one.
All right.
1 and 5.
Okay.
But for you, also 3. All right. Nishei Beit Lechem, the women of Bethlehem, Harabot, the many women of Bethlehem,
All right.
Ba'ohel Hagadol.
In the big tent.
In the Big Ten.
No.
Were in the big tent.
Or are in the big tent. You
Okay.
need it, right?
Right.
Key, because why are they in the Big Tent? Anashim Ra'im Saviv. There
Bad
were
men are around.
bad guys around. God, finally some evil men. All right. Since I mentioned 3, let's do it for 5.
Right.
Zeh HaMelech HaTov. This is the good king. Ve'ela ha'avadim harabim. And these are the many servants. Asher yichu et hara'im min ha'ir. Who will take the bad guys out of the city. So here Ra'im is, right, it's an adjective, right? But sometimes like an adjective like that can just mean like bad guys, right? I think that's what that means. And then what was the last one? 5? 5. Ein aim chachama b'mishpacha. There isn't a smart mother. There is not a wise mother in the family. We're back to that again.
Well, at least she's not evil. Just dumb.
Well, by the end of the sentence, she could also be evil. I don't know. Let's see. And we have way too much fun in this class, I have to say. Ein em chachama b'mishpacha. There is not a wise woman in the family. V'ha'av zakein, and the father is old. Uvabayit hazeh, and in this house, ein mishpetei haTorah, and there is no Torah rules in this house. My God, they're reformed. Sorry. V'yesh milchama bein habanim, and there's a battle going on between the sons.
Time for
She said to the family therapist. Right, exactly, right. Wow. Okay. I don't, the tall tale, can we skip the tall tale?
Yeah.
Okay, but did you?
That was fun. Those tall tales
Yeah,
are
I
much
like-
fun.
I like
They
All right,
really
let's
are.
do let's just quickly go through the guided reading from the book of Ruth,
Yes.
because in the end we get to read this sort of simplified version of Ruth. So Orpah is how that's pronounced. Orpah v'Ruth karu vehena bachu, right? So they called out and they wept. Orpah and Ruth. Orpah and Ruth are the sisters. 2. V'Orpah nashka la Naomi. So here's an example. Kiss has its own special preposition li, right? You don't kiss at somebody, you give a kiss to them, right? For Orpah nashka la Naomi, she kissed Naomi. Az Orpah halcha, and then Orpah went on her way. V'Ruth yashva im Naomi od, and Ruth sat or stayed on. Od is more, right? She yet stayed with Naomi. 5. And Naomi amra, and Naomi said, Hine Orpah halcha, look, or behold, right? Orpah has left, has gone on her way. El Ama ve'el Eloheha. This is very close to what the text says, right? She has gone to Ama, her people, right? By the way, the dot in the hay, when it is with the kamatz before it, like Ama, you see it? And it's the last thing in the word, like a hay with a dot in it. It's not a dagesh. It has a special name. It's called a mapik. And a mapik indicates feminine. It's a feminine possessive ending, right? So she went to Ama, her people, and she also went to Eloheha, her gods. And then, right, this is where Naomi says to Ruth and Orpah, the sisters, they're from Moab, right? And she says, listen, God has not dealt well with me. My husbands are gone. My husband is gone. My sons are gone because they're her daughters-in-law. and I have nothing to offer you. She says, even if I had 2 sons tonight, if I became pregnant and bore sons like tomorrow, you're not going to sit around waiting for them to grow up, because this whole subtext of keeping the land and the family and marrying, in that lineage, right? And she says, look at the last line, Ruth. It's not exactly what it says, right? Ruth, lechi im Orpah, go with Orpah, right? And then what does Ruth do? She makes her famous speech, right? Al tifki vi la'ozveich. Don't beg me to leave you, lashuv me'acharaik, to return from following you. Ki el asher telchi, you hear lech, right? El asher telchi elech, right? Wherever you go, I will go. Uva asher talini ali, wherever you stay, I will stay. Amech ami, your people is ami, my people. Velohaich Elohai, and your God is my God. Less and more may God do to me if anything but death parts us. She swears an oath. All right, we have about, let's see. Yeah, so we still have like 25 minutes. I can go the whole time today. Wait, I think I can. Hold on, let me check my schedule and see how much time we actually have. When is my next appointment? It is, forgive me for having to look. Oh, good. I don't have an appointment until 2. Yes. You guys have until quarter after?
Hmm?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Because I feel like we got cheated a couple of times. Possessive endings, singular nouns. Now we get to all these nice suffixes.
We're going to do vocabulary?
Yeah, we are. Here it is. Okay? Why?
I'm just wondering.
Oh, yeah. What, you should have to guess what the word means? No. All right, here we go. So, ahav, the root, aleph, hevet. Everybody knows that, right? So ahav is love. Somebody's phone is like buzzing up a storm. Oh, okay, all right. I don't mind. It just wants somebody to miss their call. All right. Ach means but or only. Modern Hebrew, definitely only. Biblical Hebrew, you sometimes hear it means but or however. Basar or bisar, flesh or meat, also living thing. Veruach, kol bisar ish. It doesn't mean people's meat. It means like their bodies, right? Gevul, border. Root, yud, tzadi, aleph, yatzad, to go out or go forth. Kavod, or kivod, honor or dignity. Top of the second column at the top of page 139. We have kisei as in the construct, or kisot, right? Seat or throne. Mincha, or minchat, means gift or offering. It's also the name of the second of the 3 prayer services of the day. The morning service in Judaism, the morning service is shacharit, afternoon is mincha, because it refers to the mincha offering. Specifically in the Torah, when it talks about mincha, it's often talking about a grain offering or a meal offering, and then ma'ariv from erev, the evening one. All right, tzon, flock of sheep or goats. It's feminine. Katan, kitana, kitanim, kitanot, little, opposite of gadol. Shin, fe, tet, to judge, also the root of mishpat and mishpatim. Yeah? Toch, middle of, right? So it can mean within, it can also mean in the midst of. Yeah, oh, look, they even tell you that. What I just said is there in the bullet point. Sorry. I need to read ahead. The word toch most often is used as bitoch, in the midst of or within. Mitoch, from the midst of. There's a really famous, beautiful midrash on the verse from, which parasha? On the verse from Parashat Terumah, where the Israelites start collecting, or given the command to collect materials for building the Mishkan, the wilderness tabernacle. And the rationale or the command that God gives is va'asu, make, li, for me, mikdash, from kadosh, literally a holy place or a sanctuary. Va'asu li mikdash, means sanctuary. V'shachanti, nice past tense verb, except it's flipped with that vav that makes it future tense. Shachan like Shekhinah, to dwell, right? V'asuli mikdash, let them make me a sanctuary. V'shachanti, that I may dwell, bitocham. So you see bitocham here can mean in the midst of, right? But it can also mean within. So the drash, famous drash is, let them build a sanctuary that I may dwell within them. Not in their midst, but actually in their hearts. Isn't that nice? Yeah. So it takes this level of like Hebrew knowledge to be able to fully get that midrash, but there you go. That's part of the reward. Okay, ahav, the verb ahav is regular in the perfect, but irregular and rarely used in the imperfect. Why is it they saying it's
Why?
regular?
You can't say, you will
I
love,
I will love,
you
or
will
you
love,
will love.
or she will love.
The ahavta, dude. Right, except that,
Is that the reverse?
right, so it's with the reversing of though, right? So they don't actually use it in the future tense form.
Conjugated that way.
Conjugated that way, they make it the ahavta, you shall love, flip from the past.
We gotta get to that Bob, I tell you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Where do they give you the reversing vav? Like when?
17, 2 chapters.
Oh, we're almost there.
Mhm.
We should have a vav hahipuch party.
And they don't do that in modern Hebrew.
Uh-uh.
The vav?
Yeah, the
Well,
reversing.
you don't have to remember one set of.
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, like, well, the reason they're saying it's irregular is because you can imagine, right, in what we think of as the modern Hebrew imperfect or future. Remember, you're sticking on prefixes, and just try putting prefixes in front of an aleph, and you can like imagine it just like causes like vowel mayhem. You know, like words explode before your eyes. Right? It's like don't try to conjugate that in the future. I will love. No, shh, don't. Say v'aha, right? Do that. Okay. So it's obscure Hebrew grammar humor. All right. So the verb ahav is regular in the perfect, but irregular and rarely used in the imperfect. In the verb spelling chart on page 370, we list only one imperfect tense form used most in the Bible. Fine. The verb yatsa is regular in the perfect, right? Because it's all suffixes. But what's gonna cause you problems, right? And has a drop letter in the imperfect because the yud drops, right? Yeah. The exact spelling can be found in the verb spelling chart. Now, just for the fun of it, right? It sometimes it like drops, but in some forms, in some of the other verb cases, it actually changes from a yud to a vav. All right. So here's the most famous example of changing from a yud to a vav is a verb case called hif'il. So hif'il is the causative case to cause something to happen, right? And it is characterized in present tense, right? Yeah, it's characterized in the present tense by having a mem at the beginning of the verbs, a mem prefix. So here's the root is yatsa, right? But when you put a mem in front of it, you want to say to cause to come out, right? Because it means, right? It becomes motzi.
Oh, motzi lechem.
Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz. Literally the one who causes bread to come out of the earth. There you go. So the root of motzi is actually yatsa. Okay? To give you another example of this, like, the mem and then the e vowel in this hif'il, the verb, oh my God. So, okay, I'm going to make sure I stock this with nicer pens. That's pretty bad too. So the verb, see if I'm shaking this.
That orange one down there worked pretty good.
Yeah, is that right? Let's try it. Oh yeah, that's all right. So the root dalid lamed kuf means to burn or to ignite. There's a chain of gas stations in Israel called Delek. So if you want to, so Delek means to burn. If you want to say to light something, you're causing it to burn, right? Which is why you end up with le had leak ner shel Shabbat, right? And you see that like the e, right? Like motzi lahad leak, right? So that's part of what's going on. Lahad leak, to cause to burn. Yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. So we move on here. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that was all a riff, a whole like digression on Yatsa and Motzi and stuff. Okay. Possessive endings for singular nouns. Now we get into the meat of this. See how far we can get. In English, possession is shown by placing separate words before the noun. Or on page 139 for everybody who's dialed in. My family, his voice, our people, their house. In Hebrew, possession is shown by attaching special endings to nouns. Okay. There are other ways to do it with a separate word. You use like sheli, like you say has something sheli would be my something. But here they're giving us these possessive endings, so let's stick with that. Special endings. The following two charts show possessive endings and how they attach to singular nouns. The following, right. Remember that kol is a collective noun. Okay. So, kol plus e, right? Like ani, right? So it's got that e ending. Kol plus e becomes koli, my voice. Your voice, masculine singular, is kolcha or kolecha, right? Your voice, feminine singular, the ending is ech, so kolech. His voice, the ending is o, kolo. Her voice, there you get your kamatz and your mapik in the hay, right? Kola, her voice. Kolenu, our voice. There's a beautiful prayer on the high holidays. Shema kolenu. What does that mean? Hear our voice. Hear our voices, right? Literally, right? Kolchem, y'all's voice, masculine plural, right? Kolchen, if it's all feminine, your voice, right? Y'all's voice, feminine. Kolam, their voice. Kolan, their voice, feminine. So these are the possessive endings.
Oh, this dot again, and even the dagesh. I don't understand what those dots do. They don't change anything I can see. What are they? Why are they there?
They're there. They are there to indicate and identify certain things, often having to do with helping you to find the root of the word if it's sort of obscured. So, or pronunciation aids, like this is where the syllable ends and this is where the syllable begins. This particular one, the mapik that indicates feminine possessive, is probably to avoid confusion with something else. Like, is it just a feminine ending, right? Or is it actually possessive?
Okay.
If we come up with specific examples, just to give you one example, right? So, we've talked about so here's three letters of a root, right? This is some verb root, right? Some of the verb cases, like a verb case is a verb case called PL, right? Part of what distinguishes that root, like a distinguishing feature of the PL case, that verb case, is that remember we talked about like pei, ayin, lamed as being like the model, right? The pei is the first letter, the ayin, right? So in PL, the second letter of the root, the ayin letter of the root, always takes a dagesh. That's part of what identifies it as what it is. Mm-hmm. Now you can sort of go down a rabbit hole and say, well, this dagesh, called the dagesh chazak, what it really is doing is doubling the middle letter, but instead of writing the middle letter twice, you just put a dot in it to show that it's doubled. So sometimes the dots show you that it's a shorthand or something has dropped out, right? Like like when certain weak letters drop, like when a nun drops out, you get a dot that shows up, or sometimes when a yud drops out. So they are pointers to the fine points of grammar. What I think might be useful, though, to know is that most Israelis couldn't pass an exam on like what vowel to put in, because they're used to reading without vowels and writing without vowels. Yossi Leshem, who's still around teaching biblical Hebrew grammar at Hebrew Union College in Israel, used to say that Israelis were like the most infuriating people. He was Israeli. Were the most infuriating people to try to teach biblical Hebrew grammar to, because first of all, they don't, in terms of their accents, they don't hear the difference between tsere, 2 dots, and segol, 3 dots. For them, it's just right? And he says they think they know it better than you, right? So they think, they're convinced that their mistakes are correct.
But that's the way they are with everything.
Well, so there's that. Right.
So sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I was just gonna verify that, like, our case that we're using most of this is Pa'al.
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 Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Pa'al, which is like simple action.
right.
Now, when you get into the other verb cases, it's not like you're in completely unexplored territory, because the prefixes and suffixes are still the same for like the tenses. It's still ani ahavti, ata ahavta, right? So ani dibarti, ata dibarta, at dibart, hu diber, he dibra, right? Anachnu dibarnu, atem dibartem, atem dibarten, hemen hen dabru, or dibru,
Okay.
right? So it's not like you're entering like a completely different dimension with totally different rules. Those things, but and if you're like, well, how do you make your way with this? Well, the way you typically do it, like we've been doing here, is for a given kind of situation, like for a past tense, let's say PL case noun, you take one shleimim, you take one form that doesn't have any of the weird troublemaking letters in the root, and you memorize it. And then everything else, if something else comes along, you compare it and you know how to do it, right? Like l'daber, to speak. Dibart, ani dibarti, ata dibarta, right? Future tense, ani adaber, ata tidaber, at tidabri, right? He tidaber, hu yidaber, he tidaber, anachnu nidaber, atem tidabru, right? So you have the basic structure of the congregations remain the same. It's largely the vowel patterns that change, and the fact that like the PL and the HIFL, the causative, and actually the HIPAL too, a number of the other cases, they pick up a mem prefix in the present tense, but we haven't really dealt with present tense much.
I picked up some fact that said like 70% of all of this is in the Pa'al.
Yeah, a lot of Hebrew, a lot of Hebrew is in the Pa'al, which is why they're not really troubling you. Now, eventually you need some other forms, but you can make a lot understood and get away with quite a lot in this like Pa'al case, and a lot of what you have in the prayer book and all, except like hamotzi, when suddenly it's Hiffield, it's causative, to cause to bring forth. Yeah.
Can every letter, any letter, take a dagesh under the right circumstances?
The guttural letters cannot. Aleph can't. Aleph doesn't. Hey doesn't. Yud does. Chet does not. Aleph, Hey, Chet, Resh never takes a dagesh. Largely letters that in Hebrew are guttural. We don't think of Resh as being a guttural letter because we say it R, right? But it's R like that, then it's guttural. So the guttural letters don't take a dot.
That's why that dot at the end of the possessive with the hey is not a dagesh, it's a mapik.
It's a mapik.
Okay.
Yeah. It indicates possession. It's a different thing.
I like that. That's good.
Okay. All right. Plus, at least it's not evil. It always indicates evil. Okay. Oh, possessive endings with a word pair form. Really? Do we have to, Mom? Yes, we do. Possessive endings are attached to the word pair form of a noun or a modification of it. Sometimes, as shown above with kol, the word pair form of the noun is the same as the regular form of the noun. Often, however, the word pair form is a different form. I would rather just have an example, all right?
Yeah.
So bayit, right, become the word pair form, the construct form is bait. Again, like all these Beth Israel, Beth Yeshurun, Beth this, Beth that is all bait, really, house of, these synagogue names. Right. Beiti is my house. Okay. Beitenu, our house. Actually, you know what? I'm realizing they want you to go down let's go down. They want you to go down the columns, really. So, Bait is house. Beiti is my house. Beitcha or beitecha is your house. And by the way, if you just like sat and thought about that, they're all that beitecha's all over. Adonai, ahavti me'on beitecha. God, I love the palace of your house, or something like that. Umekom mishkan kivodecha, and the place where your kivodecha is. Right? Isn't that nice? Beitech, your house, feminine singular. Beito, his house, or the guy who gave up being presidential nominee, Beto, right? It's actually Beto, I think. It was a long way. It was a long way for a dumb joke that nobody thought was funny.
I thought it was funny.
And now it's on the internet. I'm so humiliated. All right, Beta. There's your mapik, Sarah. For you, a mapik, right? Her house. Beitenu, our house, is a very, very right. See, nobody got this Crosby, Stills, and Nash except Allison. Right. Beitchem, right? Y'all's house. Beitchen, y'all feminine's house. Beitam, their house. Beitan, their house. The dot in the hey is part of the spelling of the her ending. It helps to distinguish it from a simple feminine noun. Oh, that's the reason. Okay? So na'ar, there you go. Na'ar, young man. Na'ara with a mapik, her young man. Na'ara without the mapik. Oh, see what?
Oh, very important.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Okay, Maria just said something and I missed it. You all are loco. Okay, I don't know if that's actually Portuguese. The possessive your masculine singular has two forms. Cha and echa. They are both translated the same way. All right. Yeah, that's cool. All right, page 141. How we doing? Okay, we got it. Let's look at 141. We're not gonna get it to the end. And if you take your time between now and next week, I'll say to review past stuff and just keep it fresh. That's fine. Summary of singular nouns with possessive endings. In the following pages, we will give you many examples. Oh, so maybe this is just summary then. In the following pages, we will give you many examples of singular nouns with possessive endings. The examples are included so you can see the endings attached to various nouns. You do not need to memorize each word. You do need to memorize the endings because these endings are regular and do not change. All right. Nouns which do not change when endings are added. Right? Ami, my people. Amcha or amecha, your people. Ki anu amecha. I'm singing that for Peter, although not as well as Peter. Amech, your people, right? We already said, Ruth says, Amech ami. Oh, it's so perfect. Your people are my people, right? Amo, va'anachnu Yisrael amo, we say in the prayer book, and we are Israel, God's people. Amo, his people. Ama, with a mapik, her people. Amenu, our people. Amchem, your people. Amchen, your people. Amam and Aman, their people. Word pair forms which are different from the noun. Davar, all right, is noun. I'm sorry, davar means word or thing. Divar, right? We say like in the Psalms, Divar Eloheinu, the word of our God, right? Divar Moshe, or Divrei Moshe, right? Words of Moshe. So, Divari, my word. So what they're really showing you here is that they're showing the word pair forms, right? Divarcha and divarecha. Again, this is like all over the prayer book in the Torah, right? Your word, masculine singular. Divarech, your word, feminine singular. Divaro, his word. Divara, her word. Divarenu, our word. Divarchem, your word. Divarchen, your word, feminine. Divaram, their word, right? Divaran, their word feminine. So, right? You don't have to memorize all the little vowel tweaks that happen with these different ones. What they want you to be able to do is to recognize the meaning by the suffix, by the ending. So my suggestion to you is going to be memorize, take the first one there, 141 or 141, and memorize And once you know you know, like you already know the new suffix means we or us or our, right? The amenu is, yeah, right. And actually, right. So don't worry about all the, that's why they're saying don't go memorizing all these nouns, but learn the suffixes.
Okay.
Right, because here's an example again of you don't have to, you're not like trying to like go out and speak biblical Hebrew, in Tel Aviv, which people would look.
Apparently that's the cool thing to do now.
Is it really?
From a friend told me.
Oh yeah, you told us that last time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why, but-
All right. Admati, my land. Admatecha, admatecha, your land. Admatech, your land, and so on. It's the same suffixes, right? I guess you would sing Admati, Admatech. My land is your land. The Arlo Guthrie. All right. Nouns with other changes when endings are added. Some common nouns have other changes. All right. So eretz. And I think, by the way, they're not getting into like all this, but I think like all Segalit nouns, like Kelev and Melech, right, and Eretz probably have the same weird vowel changes. Yeah. So like Kelev is a dog. My dog is Kalbi, like artsy, right? Yeah. All right. So artsi, artsacha, artsech, artso, his land, artsa, her land, artsenu. That sounds real familiar, right? Our land, and so on. Father, right? Avi, my father. Avicha, your father. Avich, really? It's avich? I don't think I've ever heard or said that word. Avich, your father. Aviv, his father, right? Avi, it's a little weird, right? It's not the O there. Aviv. Aviha, her father. Avinu. And what's our king? Malkeinu. Thank you. I was hoping someone would break into song at that moment, and Faith, you did. Avichem, Avichen, Avihem, Avihen. Notice that Vav in his father Aviv is pronounced like a V and not the usual O. Okay, fine. The their endings, Nun and Mem, are preceded by He. So Avihem and Avihen. The word brother, Ach, uses the same possessive endings as Av, Achi, Achech, Achenu, and so on. If you can recognize the word pair form and the endings, you can translate the word in spite of a few changes. Remember that no matter how much the noun changes, the possessive endings always remain the same. Right? So I think that a lot of these vowel changes follow rules having to do with what the form of the thing is. Just don't get caught up in that. Right? Just know the endings. All right. We should stop. We're a little over time. People who have been logging on,
We're close, though. We are close.
we are really close to the end. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna read the last little bit there, by all means, and we will go on. Bye, everybody. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.